Hi, welcome to day 12 of our 30-day yoga journey inwards. Today we anchor in. We are going to come back to the breath, that Ujjayi breath that we did a few days ago. We're going to come back to that in each and every posture, really grounding into the pose and anchoring inwards. The breath is a great tool to really tune in, to get to know your body on a deeper level. So we're going to really allow that breath to be our guide today as we anchor into the body. So let's begin day 12, anchor. We're going to begin in a comfortable seated position. So legs are just gently crossed in front of you, really grounding down into the sit bones, lengthening up tall through the spine and just dropping those shoulders down away from the ears. You might gently close down your eyes and begin to really tune into that breath. The breath is one of the quickest and easiest tools that we can use to really drop into the body, to know where it's at in a given moment. So anchor into that breath. Let it be your guide. Now as we inhale, we're going to take our arms down beside us and reach them overhead. And exhale, dropping that right hand down beside you, walking the fingertips out, reaching the left arm over. Now on your next inhale, open up through the chest a little more. Just find a little bit of space to open here. Breathing in and breathing out. On your next exhale, we're going to take that left hand towards the mat, sweep it around, bringing that right arm overhead. And again, opening up on the inhale, open through that chest. Anchor into the breath, anchor into the moment. On your next exhale, bringing that right arm down, sweeping it around and opening up through the left arm. On your next exhale, dropping that left hand down, sweeping the hands around to the left side, open up. And then lifting up through center on your inhale. Taking those shoulders, and as you inhale, bringing them up towards the ears, and exhale, drop them down. One more time. Pausing here, anchoring back in, and then taking your time to roll over onto your hands and knees. When you made it here, we're going to tuck those toes under and we're going to walk our hands back and just bringing our hands back towards our knees. Our toes stay tucked, lengthening up through the spine. Fire toes position. Now if this feels a little bit much for you, you can always walk your hands forward and bringing them down onto the mat for a little support, or you can take your block under your hands for some support too. Otherwise, bringing the hands back on the thighs. And breathe in here. Now you can take your hands and you can just allow them to move up and down your thighs, giving your thighs a little massage here. Connecting inwards through touch as well as through the breath. But anchoring into this moment. And then when you're ready, just allowing those hands to be still. Now fire toes can be quite a strong posture. We can really feel it quite a lot through our toes, especially the longer we hold here. So allow that breath, allow the exhales especially to be a release here. And you can do that through coming back to that Ujjayi breath that we practiced the other day. as if you are blowing air on a pane of glass or onto a mirror, but with the mouth closed. So the exhale is really audible. Slight constriction in the back of the throat there as you exhale. Sinking in. One more round of breath here. Before walking your hands forward, lifting up off the toes, untucking the toes, and just giving yourself a moment to really pat the feet out. Good. And grounding down into the hands and into the knees. And as we inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, open through the heart, lifting the hips. And then as you exhale, round through that spine, dropping the chin towards the mat. Inhale, coming forward and through for cow pose. And exhale, rounding back and away for cat. Inhale, allowing yourself space to open. And exhale, create a rainbow with the spine. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, rounding through. Coming back to neutral spine on the inhale. Then walking the hands forward a handprint, tucking the toes and lifting the hips for down dog. So as always, this is your first downward dog of the day, so allow yourself space and time to just move here. Getting to feel how the body feels today, moving how it needs. And then when you're ready, bending the knees, lengthening through the spine, hips up towards the sky before allowing the legs to straighten slightly. Anchor into the breath. Then bending the knees, looking between the hands and stepping forward. Find your half lift. Folding over the legs, grounding down into the feet and reaching the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Find your Tadasana, so drop those shoulders down away from the ears. Ground down into the feet, anchor into the earth. Lifting up through those thighs, tilting the tailbone ever so slightly under. Shoulders down and away from the ears, palms faced forward. Crown of the head towards the roof. Tadasana. As you inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Exhale, folding forward with a long spine. Over the legs. Hands come to the floor. Then as you inhale, find your half lift. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Plant the hands and step back through plank pose. Now, as always, take plank that feels good for you. So you can be knees up, knees down, whatever suits you. Now, everybody bringing the knees to the mat. Coming forward over those hands, lowering down halfway for Chaturanga. Push through for Cobra, open through the chest. And then exhale back to down dog. Bend the knees, look between the hands, step forward. Find your half lift. Exhale, fold over the legs. Ground down into the feet, reaching the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Find your half lift as you inhale. And then plant the hands and step back through plank. Pausing for a moment in plank. Coming forward slightly, lowering down halfway in Chaturanga. Lifting up, open through the chest for Cobra. Exhale back to down dog. Anchor in here in this down dog. On your next inhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, step forward. Find your half lift. Long through the spine here. Exhale, fold over the legs. Then reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, fold forward. Find that half lift long through the spine. Then plant the hands, step back through plank. Lowering down through your chaturanga. Open up through cobra. Exhale to down dog. Right leg lifts as you inhale. Exhale, bringing the knee towards the nose and stepping that right foot forward. You can always take your hand around your ankle and help the foot step forward if it doesn't quite make it all the way. Dropping that back heel and opening up for warrior two. So hips are aligned with the long side of the mat. Right knee is over the right ankle. Long through the arms here. Looking out over that front right finger. Breathing here, anchoring in. On your next inhale, dropping the right elbow to the right knee, left arm overhead. Anchor in here. Sweeping that left arm around, coming back through your warrior two before reversing your warrior. Dropping those hands back to the mat, coming through plank, flow through your chaturanga, into your cobra, back to your down dog. Left leg lifts on an inhale. Step it between the hands as you exhale. Drop the back heel, open up for warrior two. Sinking in here. Gaze is coming out over that left middle finger. Anchor in. And dropping the left elbow to the left knee, reaching the right arm up overhead. Anchor here. Use that breath. Allow it to bring you into the moment. Circling that right arm round, lifting back up through warrior two before reversing your warrior. Circling those hands down to the mat and stepping back through plank, come through your vinyasa, chaturanga, cobra, down dog. Then walking the feet as wide as the mat here, and we're going to walk our hands back to the feet, dropping down for Malasana pose. So feet as wide as the mat, knees trekking out over the toes, sinking the hips down. Elbows come to the inner knees, palms pressed together. Long through the spine here. Anchor in, use the breath. And bringing the hands to the mat, walking the hands forward, coming back through your down dog. Before bending the knees, looking between the hands and stepping forward. Find your half lift, long through the spine. Exhale, folding over the legs, grounding down into the feet, reaching the arms up overhead, and exhale, hands to heart center. Anchor into your Tadasana. On your next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Find your half lift. Then plant the hands and step back through plank. Come through your vinyasa, through your chaturanga, into your cobra, back to your down dog. Right leg lifts on an inhale. Step it between the hands as you exhale. Drop that back heel, open up for warrior two. Front elbow, front knee, left arm overhead. As you inhale, lifting up through warrior two, and then reverse your warrior. Coming back through your warrior two, before straightening your legs, sending the hips towards the back of the mat, reaching the arms long, leaning forward, reaching that right arm as far forward as it goes, before dropping it down along the right leg. Left arm overhead for triangle pose. Opening up through the chest here. Gaze can be at the big toes on the floor or up at that left wrist. Anchoring in. Then dropping that left hand to the mat, bending into that front knee, low lunge. Now can you open through the chest a little more here? You might need to lift up onto your fingertips to do so. Then planting the hands and stepping back through plank. Come through your vinyasa. Meeting in down dog. Left leg lifts on an inhale. Exhale, step it between the hands. Drop that back heel. Open up for your warrior two. Anchor in when you've found your positioning. Left elbow, left knee. Right arm sweeps overhead. Lifting up, coming back through that warrior two a moment before taking that back hand down the back leg, opening up for reverse warrior. Coming back through your warrior two a moment, grounding down, anchoring in through the breath. Before straightening through that front leg, sending the hips to the back of the mat, reaching that left arm forward as far as it goes, long through the body here. Then dropping that left hand down along the left leg, right arm reaches up for triangle pose. And again, taking your gaze either to the big left toe or up to that right wrist. Anchor in through the breath. Sweeping that right hand down to the mat, coming up onto those back toes for your low lunge. Opening through the chest a little more, so maybe coming up onto those fingertips to do so. Breathe in here. Planting the hands, stepping back through plank. Come through your vinyasa. Open up through the chest and meeting back in down dog. Bending the knees, looking between the hands and stepping forward. Find your half lift. Fold over the legs, ground down into the feet, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Ground down into that left leg. We're just going to come to a balancing posture here. So grounding down into that left leg and beginning to lift the right. And we're going to take the right sole of the foot anywhere above or below the knee for tree pose. So bringing it to the space that feels good for you. You might keep your toes on the ground. You might bring your foot to your calf, or you might bring it to your thigh, whatever feels good for you. But really grounding down into that left foot, opening up, pausing and breathing here. Anchor in, fix your gaze, and allow the breath to hold you here. On your next exhale, releasing the right foot down. Grounding down into that right foot this time. Lifting the left foot. Bringing that foot anywhere above or below the knee. And anchoring in to your tree pose on this side. And it's okay if you sway a little. You know, trees sway in the wind, so it's okay. And if you fall out of it, just know that you can come back to it. But when you've found this space, anchor in, find your grounding, and just be here with the breath. And then from here, we're going to release the hands and release the foot down. Good. Pausing here in your Tadasana, shoulders down away from the ears, palms faced out in front of you. Really finding this grounding pose, finding yourself in this space. On your next inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Now beginning to bend into the knees here, we're going to lift our heels off the mat, coming onto our toes. And we're going to pause here and balance a little. So we're going to take one hand and wrap it around our knees, and take the other and wrap it around as well. Just finding yourself in this space where you're balancing in this little egg position. Anchor into the breath, fixing the gaze. Beautiful. And then bringing the hands down to the mat for a moment, we're just going to find a little support, and I'm just going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. So from here, we're going to bring our feet, soles of the feet towards one another, allowing our knees to open up to the sides. So coming back into that, you know, our tree shape, so we had our knees open to the side, but coming through this balancing pose here. So our toes are on the mat, tucked under like they were in fire toes. Now lengthen up through the spine, and as you find your focal point, begin to lift one hand and then the other. Breathing here, fixing your gaze, anchoring in. And if you fall out of it, that's okay, just come back to it. For 3, 2, 1, bringing the hands to the mat in front of you. And then from here, just lowering the knees to the mat. Good. We're going to sink our hips back to our heels. Just drop the hips to one side of the feet and then allow the legs to come out in front of you. Feet are placed firmly on the mat and we're going to roll back, coming onto our backs here. Now taking your right foot and placing that ankle just on top of the left knee. We're coming through threaded needle legs here. So then beginning to lift the sole of the foot off the mat, the left sole of the foot, and then bringing the hands, one hand, right hand coming through the gates of the legs, left hand to the outside of the leg, and then just taking a clasp of the hands behind the back of that left knee. Right foot is flexed. And then just bringing that left knee into wherever feels good for you. You should be feeling this in that right hip area. And if you're not, just adjust and move until you find a space that feels good for you. Allow that breath to anchor you here in this posture. And then releasing the clasp of the hands, taking that left foot to the mat, uncrossing the right, and then taking the left ankle over the right knee, flexing through the left foot, and then beginning to lift the right sole of the foot off the mat and taking a clasp of the hands behind the right knee. This time, our focus is on our left hip. So bringing that right knee into wherever feels good. And as you anchor in and pause and hold here, you might find that you move a little deeper with each breath, but just doing what feels good for you. Then releasing the right foot to the mat, bringing the left foot down to the mat, walking the feet together, and then just allowing the knees to drop open, soles of the feet have come together for butterfly pose. And you can take your hands to your belly, or one hand to your belly or chest, whatever feels best for you here. Just breathing into this space, anchoring in here. And then from here, we're going to begin to lengthen one leg and then the other, allowing the feet to just drop open here. And taking the arms alongside you, palms faced up, and just letting go of everything, of the anchor, of the breath, and just simply being here in this moment, in your Shavasana. And beginning to lengthen the inhales and the exhales. Taking some gentle movements through the fingers and the toes. And allow those movements to become bigger through the wrists and the ankles. Then taking a lovely big full body stretch. Before bending the knees and rolling to one side. Just pausing here to find space for gratitude for something that's happened today. And then making your way up to sit. On your next inhale, we're going to reach the arms up overhead, bringing the palms together and exhaling them down in front of the heart. I hope you've enjoyed this anchoring practice today, that you were able to anchor into the breath and into the body. If you did enjoy this practice, then please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see when videos drop, then hit the notification bell. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 13 of our yoga journey inwards. Bye for now.